Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you are having a fantastic Sunday. It has been a kind of crazy week covering the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation, but you know what? It's finally the weekend and boy, could I use it. I need to do some significant work in my garden. I've removed all of my tomatoes and I have a whole load of tomato ketchup and salsa and all kinds of other things to make with all of the green tomatoes. The potatoes have all gone. Most of the rest of the garden has pretty much finished. We've taken the corn out and everything else. And the chickens are now laying. We've got 3 chickens who are now laying. Margaret's been laying a while. Grace started laying this week. And so did Lady Ada. So we now have 3 chickens laying. As it's autumn and chickens tend not to lay in the winter, I don't know how long it's going to be, but anyway. And lest some of you put a thing in the comment going, "Hey, the real content starts here," I'd just like to remind you that this is a Sunday musing and Sunday musings are unscripted and I give you a bit of an update on what's going on in my life outside of TE. So, now I've done that, let's talk about what we want to talk about today, which is, should Western automakers be scared of Chinese car companies? In 10 yesterday, we covered 2 Chinese EV stories. The XPeng G3, some of which are now on a ship making their way to Europe, as well as the Lynk & Co. Zero concept or Concept Zero. I'm afraid I can't remember which way round it goes. That is a concept vehicle from a company that is owned by Geely or Geely, whichever way you want to say it, which of course also happens to own both Polestar and Volvo. Both of these cars look really solid vehicles. One is a concept, granted, but the other one is a production vehicle that has been made in China and is being made in significant volumes. Tesla Bjorn or Bjorn Nyland, he drove, I think it was the XPeng, and he was very, very complimentary about it and said some really nice things. So it kind of makes me wonder, are we about to see a whole load of Chinese electric vehicles enter into the marketplace? Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. You saw the Jalopnik thing about buying a cheap car from China, and there was a guy on YouTube recently who got scammed because he bought what he thought was going to be a sports car, and it turned out to be like this little round town runabout. But for the most part, I think those vehicles are sold by a very different type of manufacturer. And China now seems to have multiple different kind of markets and multiple different segments that they serve. So yes, there are the AliExpress specials, which is what I'm going to put that car that Jason from Jalopnik purchased and had shipped to the US, as well as the one that's in that scam video. But there are other electric cars that seem to be made by genuine Chinese companies that seem to be making some serious impacts into the electric vehicle world. They don't seem to be having any issues with you know, things breaking or falling down. They seem to be solid enough cars. They seem to be built to Western standards. And that sounds really arrogant saying, oh, they're built to Western standards, because, you know, the quality of some of the cars we make in the West is pretty naff. But obviously, I know that there are social issues with buying cars from China, like political issues, concerns over China and the PRC as a whole, not necessarily being good to its citizens, human rights violations, etc. But you know, I currently live in the United States of America, and I don't know if you guys have been watching the news this week. Yeah, let's just leave it at that, because people don't like it when I get political. Just make sure you're registered to vote in November, okay? I don't care if you vote Republican. I just want to know that everybody has had a chance to vote. Obviously, I would rather you voted Democrat. Oh, I said I wasn't going to get political. Oh well, never mind. I think everybody who's going to unsub because I mentioned politics, I think they've all disappeared and unsubbed a long time ago. But I want to know if you would buy a Chinese EV. Have you purchased a Chinese EV instead of like a Western brand made in the West? And I'm not talking about a Chinese-made Tesla, because that's very different, because Tesla is a brand from the US. It has a factory in China. The same as, you know, a GM or a Volkswagen car that is made in China for the Chinese market. I'm talking about Chinese companies that are making cars for the Chinese market, that are startups or maybe established brands, and how you feel about buying that car. Would you worry about the battery pack? Would you worry about reliability? Would you worry about, you know, random things going wrong? I'm sorry, Sally the Rooster it's a Sunday video. He wants in, he always does. Would you worry about warranty claims? Would you worry about copyright infringement? Would you worry about the safety of your data? So if you bought a car from a Chinese company and you were connecting it to your mobile cell phone, would you be worried that, you know, some nefarious part of the Chinese government was taking your data and using it for nefarious purposes? I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, this is filmed from a Western perspective because I don't live in China. I don't think I'd want to live in China right now. I actually follow a lot of Chinese people who are non-Chinese, who are foreigners, who live in China or lived in China, as a lot of them are now have escaped China before things got really bad. But I'd love to know what you think about Chinese EVs. Should we be giving them a chance? Should we not be giving them a chance? Would you be okay politically with buying a Chinese EV? Let me know your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and you can support us using the links below. Thanks to the scrolling names, all of the amazing people who support our channel. Thanks to our $50 a month Patreon supporters. You know who you are. Ditto with our $100 a month Patreon supporters. Without you guys, we just wouldn't be able to make content. It would be much, much harder to do, at least. Check out the chickens. They're all looking really grown up these days. They are fed up because we've had a lot of rain, so they've not been able to go out in the yard. And I'm hoping that it's nice and dry tomorrow so they can go back to free ranging, which is what they really like. And the only reason we're keeping the rooster around right now, because he's been harassing everybody. He's been harassing me and the dogs and everything else. The only reason why we keep him around is because when we free range the hens, he actually keeps an eye on everybody and keeps them safe. So he's like that dickish cousin that you didn't mind because he made sure that nobody beat you up. Anyway, I will talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Keep evolving.